Hi everyone, welcome to What's Cooking with DP. As you can see, I am your host for these webinars. We'll be hosting these fun interactive webinars every Wednesday at 12 o'clock noon, and we're going to keep them very short and sweet, maximum of 40 minutes. The whole purpose is to keep you informed in a fun way. We know there's been a lot of webinars out there, and we want to keep it fun, informed, interactive, and as I said, short and sweet. So today we're going to be talking about NCL, and I know a few of you have been on NCL webinars, but the whole purpose today is for us to talk about the super South African itineraries, because I think that's really important going forward. We have invited Narosha from NCL, who is the Business Development Manager, and she'll be talking to you about NCL. And when she's finished, we're going to hand over to Gail and Emma, who are part of Development Promotions, to give you some feedback on some of the trips they've done. So over to you, Narosh.
Hi everyone, and again thanks to DP and the team at DP for putting this presentation together. Today I'm going to be talking about the new deployment that we've just launched. Very exciting itineraries, especially for our market, and I think it's perfect timing, especially with what's happening during COVID-19. Just next, Jen. Okay, so our first very exciting itinerary is the 18-day Dubai to Cape Town itinerary, stopping in Reunion, Seychelles, and then coming to Cape Town. It's starting on the 3rd of December next year. Sorry, it's on the Norwegian Jade. Like I said, 18-day itinerary going from Dubai, Muscat, Seychelles, Madagascar, Mauritius, Reunion, doing 2 stops in Richards Bay, PE, Mossel Bay, and then down to Cape Town. I know a lot of you would have heard in the last couple of days that the Seychelles have closed their borders to any cruise ships for the next 2 years. We have kept the itinerary as is for now, because as we know, anything can change between now and next year, December. And if anything does change, we will reroute the itinerary. But a stunning 18-day itinerary, South African guests, especially with visas and, airlift. Next, Jen. Then we have what we think is going to be a game changer for our market is the 12-day South African in December next year, going all the way into January 2022, and then coming back again in December 22 into January 23, starting and ending in Cape Town, doing Mossel Bay, PE, Richards Bay, Durban, going up to Luderitz and Walvis Bay, and then back to Cape Town. And obviously this is going to be, like I said, brilliant for our market. We always wanted a luxury cruise liner or 5-star cruise liner to come to South Africa on our coasts, and I do think already we've seen quite a lot of interest and inquiries. The pricing started at about $700 last week, and it's already beginning to increase because of the interest on the sailing. So definitely to start sharing this type of itinerary with your guests. Next, Jen. Then we again have another Middle East and South Africa itinerary, also on the Norwegian Jade. This one going from Cape Town to Dubai, so in reverse. Again, doing the exact same itinerary, Cape Town, Mossel Bay, PE, Richards Bay, Reunion, Mauritius, Seychelles, via Oman, back to Dubai, starting at $2,299. This one is in January 2022, going into February. But again, all these new itineraries, we've seen a lot of interest from the South African guests. So definitely, guys, you can start sharing these itineraries with your clients. It's going to be perfect for us and for our market. Awesome. That's it from me in the new deployment.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Narosha. And I just wanted to remind you all that from an NCL point of view, Development Promotions is your partner. You book your NCL through us. We're very excited about these itineraries, and we look forward to hearing from you. And now I'm going to hand over to, I forgot, is it Emma or Gail? They are both wonderful. So I think I'm handing over to Emma, who's going to be talking about her experience on her NCL cruise. And then she'll hand over to Gail.
Thanks, Charles. Good afternoon, everyone. And welcome from my kitchen here in Port Elizabeth. Just to introduce myself quickly, as you know, I'm Emma, and I've been in the cruising industry for about 16 years now. And after all our amazing DP agents, the amazing opportunity to cruise on board the newly refurbished Norwegian Spirit in February this year, before things got real with coronavirus. And if I think back now, we all were in like our little bubble on board the ship, hearing slowly but surely about the different cities starting to close their schools and the churches and the airports. And I think never in a million years did we ever think that our industry would be in its after she had been refurbed. I embarked in Aqaba in Jordan, so that's me dockside next to the beautiful Norwegian Spirit in Jordan, and then we cruised for 6 nights. So we were just at sea for our time on board, and we disembarked in Muscat in Oman. So my destination was more the ship and experiencing everything that NCL has to offer on board. Just on that itinerary after Dubai, the Norwegian Spirit was then scheduled to make her way down to Cape Town. And that's, of course, when all the wheels fell off with COVID-19. And those exciting ship visits that we were so looking forward to in South Africa were unfortunately cancelled. But yeah, it's amazing news that NCL is going to be back in our waters in December in 2021. So I think we all look forward to that. So one of the many highlights on Norwegian cruises is the number of restaurants on board. There are more restaurants on board than you actually have days at sea. And based on my time on board, the food, I can honestly say, is well prepared and absolutely delicious. So the main dining room on board is windows, which is an a la carte menu and is included there. Dishes on the menu include grilled salmon, there's fillet steak, and there's also a good variety of vegetarian options too. As part of NCL's freestyle cruising concept, guests don't need to pre-book a dinner time or a table in the main dining room. The waiters, I think a lot of guests favoured other restaurants on board. Then in terms of the buffet on board the ship, that's obviously available for breakfast, lunch and dinner. And there's a great selection of all kinds of dishes. One of my favorites was Eggs Benedict for breakfast. For lunch, you could do anything from build your own burgers, you could have a pasta, you could have a stir fry. And then in the evenings, they'd have sort of different themed dinners. So one evening they had Indian, another evening they had Thai. The desserts were amazing as well. So from cakes, ice creams, the chocolate chip cookies are divine, and often we'd sneak back from the pool and grab a cup of coffee and a chocolate chip cookie. So you just never really went hungry. I also thought that the coffee and the selection of teas and juices on board in the buffet was of a good standard, because sometimes in the buffet it's not that great. But I thought it was standard, and I was really, really impressed with the buffet. The quality of the food and the selection was really, really amazing. And although there was a hustle and a buffet, I never really stood in a long queue, and I never really battled to get a table. So I thought that was really a positive in terms of the buffet on board. Then the fourth complimentary dining option is the Asian fusion restaurant called Silk. This was definitely a favorite of mine, as I love my Asian food. And also just remember that there's no additional cost for this meal. And it's another great alternative. In terms of what's on the menu, they have noodle dishes, spring rolls, they have the pot stickers, soup, sweet and sour pork. You could also order sushi in this restaurant, but the sushi was at an additional cost. And it sort of averaged around $11 US per plate. And then, as I said, plenty of complimentary dining options on board. And then the fifth one was the local. This was also a favorite of ours. So it's also open 24 hours. So if ever you felt like just having a snack, you know, there was always something available there. Things on the cheeseburger, they had pulled pork sliders. Everyone raved about the famous chicken wings. And then my favorite was the nut. You could sit up at the bar and have, you know, the meals or the lunches. And of course, a cocktail or a craft beer was never far away from the beer, from the meal either. Then just in terms of dining on board NCL, it's a very casual dress code. Dress up. Men don't need suit and ties. I would maybe suggest, you know, doing something a little bit smarter for the specialists, just because it's something a little bit more special and maybe you feel you want to dress up a little bit smarter, but, you know, it's completely up to you. So just in terms of the speciality restaurants, I thought they were absolutely outstanding and definitely a highlight for me. I would recommend that you make a reservation for these meals. You can do it at guest services, or there's also an NCL app that you could book on your phone. So the first one we dined at was the Bistro, which is on your screen now. It's a French a la carte restaurant. The steak that I had was to die for, and creme brulee is what I chose for dessert. The restaurant has a very intimate atmosphere. The waitress's attention to detail is amazing. I would definitely recommend the Bistro for perhaps an anniversary or a special birthday celebration. Then we dined at Scapata, which is the next slide, Jen. This restaurant sells amazing Italian cuisine. It's also used as a private restaurant for the suite guests on board. Just a note is that after the refurbishment with the NCL there's no haven on the ship. There's also no chill facilities on the ship. So they use Under as the private restaurant for the suite guests. So with Under, we were treated to a selection of different items of the menu. So the food just really didn't stop coming. And the wine stewards were very attentive and made sure that your glass was never empty. We had different pastas, we had pizzas, we had a seafood dish, the polenta, and then the picture in the middle there is the mozzarella salad that we had. The desserts were amazing. The picture on the screen is a peanut butter ice cream with biscotti. They also treated us to a cotta and a cheesecake and tiramisu. So really it was outstanding. So with the Bistro and Under, these two are a la carte menus. But depending on what you order, that is how you would then be billed and charged to your on-board account. And lastly, just in terms of the speciality done on board, we had an evening at teppanyaki. And that really, really was highlight for me. So teppanyaki is an authentic, interactive Asian cooking experience. So you can see there on the right-hand side of your screen, and they've got the cooking stations all set up. If you had to pay for this dining experience, it would set you back about $39 per person. Include the 4-course meal, and you also get a Japanese cocktail in the middle there. And then, yeah, there's just such excitement. The way to take your drink orders, and your personal chef arrives with all his ingredients and cooking tools. You're served the soup and the salad as a starter, while the chef entertains you with a few tricks and jokes. Then you get a choice of your main menu. So you can either go for chicken, vegetables, seafood, or fillet. And they prepared that all in front of you with delicious fried rice. And yeah, the chef has got so much enthusiasm, and it really, really is just a fun experience. And then you have two options for the dessert, which was the green tea cake or fresh fruit jasmine. I think that's how you say it. And then, yeah, I would definitely recommend teppanyaki, especially if you're perhaps visiting friends and family. It's a great group experience, and like I said, definitely one of the highlights for me. So yeah, that was my experience on board Norwegian Spirit, which are all feeling very hungry now. I definitely left the ship a few kilograms heavier. So just to end off, before I hand over to Gail, I'd just like to share my little nugget of knowledge in terms of my experience on NCL. I would definitely recommend that your guests choose one of the specialty dining options as one of their free at sea freebies. It's definitely a highlight, and it obviously allows you to save a little bit of money and utilizing the free at sea for the dining. And that's me now. So I will hand over to Gail now.
Emma. Hi everybody. So I am Gail and I'm based in Cape Town, and I look after all my beautiful travel agents down here in the Cape with the sea and the mountain. So I was lucky enough to cruise on the NCL Epic about 4 years ago. I did the Western Med, which is the most popular cruise from Rome to Barcelona. I would always recommend that you suggest to your clients to do a 2-night stopover in Rome to experience the thousands of years of history and the culture, from the Vatican to the monuments to the museums, throwing a coin in the Trevi Fountain, of course, eating gelato or sitting on a pavement with your cappuccino or a glass of wine, just people watching. There's plenty to do. Just a reminder, the cruise port for your start in Rome is at the lovely name of Civitavecchia. So this is always a highlight. You need to be able to, tell your clients this. It's about an hour by train. So we did the train, and you take it from Rome Termini, and you can do the Trenitalia is a fast train, so it's about 45 minutes. But if you take the slow ones, it is just over an hour. So please bear this in mind, because we have had, I know of people that have literally missed a cruise because they thought it was a lot closer. The next stop on the itinerary was Livorno, which I'm actually going to come back to at the end. So moving on to Cannes, a gorgeous, stylish, trendy little town with beautiful, magnificent yachts in the marina, elegant hotels, fashionable restaurants. Definitely it is the town of the rich and famous, and we were always looking out for some Hollywood actors and actresses that we could run up to and maybe get an autograph, but we didn't see anybody. A recommendation, so the ship doesn't dock in the harbor because it's too small, so you go across to like the land by a tender boat, which is your lifeboats. When you arrive, literally 2 minutes down the road, I'd really recommend, which is what we did, is you take the tram. So it's actually called the petite train. So it's like a little train, which has got open sides with English audio. And it takes about an hour. It's 12 euros, but it takes you around the whole of Cannes, right up to the top, into like the old town and the small little streets. And it really gives you a nice feeling of what Cannes is all about. And then afterwards, you've got time to literally walk along the boulevard and go pop your head in at some of those beautiful restaurants and hotels. And then we did indulge, and we went and had a lovely gin and tonic on the beach at one of the beach bars, and it probably set us back about 500 Rand. So it is rather expensive, but it was worth it. The next stop was Marseille. I never got off because of it being like a short cruise and being on the Epic. It's a massive ship and there's so much to do and see. I felt that I just needed to spend the time to get, familiarize myself with the ship. And then our last stop was Barcelona. Definitely my favorite city, and I was actually really lucky enough. Last year I went back and spent a couple more days there because one day is definitely not enough. Another tip, if your clients are only spending a day or night, is do the hop on hop off bus. They do 3 different routes, and Barcelona is massive, and it's just really gives you a nice highlight to be able to actually kind of see Barcelona. And the clients then, your clients, if they are wanting to do, you know, certain attractions or whatever, then they can plan their route, hop off, obviously do it, and then hop back on again. So literally from the Sagrada Familia, a hint here, tell your clients they do need to, if they want to go inside, they must buy their tickets online because it's very difficult to get in. To the Ramblas, to the Gothic Quarter, to Gaudi's Park Grill, and of course eating paella. We call it paella. The Spanish pronounce it paella. Tapas, the drinking of the sangria. It really is a stunning, like, cosmopolitan city, and something that, you know, your clients should definitely not miss. So that was the itinerary that I did. And then I just wanted to share a little bit about the entertainment. So for the theatre experience, I saw Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, which I'm sure you all know and heard of. And I also saw Burn the Floor, which is literally a high energy, fast paced dance show. Tangos, waltzes, rambla, really, you've never seen anything before like this. You are, you know, at the end of your seat. It is really amazing and spectacular. These shows are full shows that come straight off Broadway with professional dancers and actors. So you're not just getting like the snippets. It is literally like paying a ticket to go to your local theatre. Like, obviously I'm in Cape Town, so it would be like paying 350 Rand or so to go to the Artscape. Obviously this is free, you don't pay for it. And then you did see a picture as well of Kinky Boots. So Kinky Boots is not on the Epic, but it is on the Encore, and I'm sure some of you probably saw Kinky Boots here in Cape Town at the Fugard Theatre. I saw it twice. Again, absolutely outstanding, so that's very exciting for any of your clients that will be cruising on the Encore. But there is plenty of evening entertainment, from pubs and clubs to lounges and bars. On the Epic, they have a whiskey bar, they have a martini bar, and then they also have the Sky Vodka Bar. This is inspired by the Ice Hotel in Scandinavia. There you'll see a picture of me. The bar area, the seating, the glasses that they fill your vodka with are all made of ice. It's absolutely freezing cold. I think it's about -15, but they kit you out with your gloves and like those jackets and ponchos. You can't really stay in there too long, but it's a fun experience and a little adventure, something nice and different to do on board. And then we moved on to the Cabin Club, which is a tribute to the Beatles. So we sang along to Hey Jude and I Want to Hold Your Hand. And then afterwards we went and had a little boogie in the disco, which is at the back of the ship. It's called Spice H2O. This during the day is the adult section. So this is also the adult disco as well. So during the day, it is a nice place for your clients to go. Obviously, there are kids on board because they do have the kids clubs. So if your clients are wanting a little bit of a quieter vibe, they can go to the back of the ship, which is the adults only section, and they've got their own bar, they've got their own pool and lots of lounges. And then in the evening they basically cover the pool and it turns into a dance floor. So that was great fun. But if you prefer just to relax and chill and you don't want to party, maybe there are bars and lounges that are really chilled. There'll be sort of soloists, piano soloists, or there might be a little bit of jazz, and it's just really just, yeah, talking about like the restaurants. So from the restaurants to the entertainment, to the bars, to the lounges, on a 7-day cruise, you almost can't experience everything. So I think that is what I loved about NCL, is the freestyle. I think that's what South Africans love. You're not told what time you have to basically eat or do. It's your choice. And I think that's what I really enjoyed. And then my nugget of knowledge. So we're going back to the itinerary. Remember I said to you that our sort of second stop after leaving Rome was Livorno. So my nugget of knowledge is that clients' excursions on board can be quite pricey. So when you stop at Livorno, this is the port where you will visit Pisa and Florence. Your clients, if they are fit and able, don't pay for a shore excursion, go and do it yourself. You literally do disembark, you grab a taxi, grab a map, they will take you to Pisa like they did for us, park up the road, you go to like the square, you take your photos of the Leaning Tower, hop back in the car, it takes about an hour to get to Florence, and they usually drop you just off one of the squares, and you literally can do your own walking tour. It is really it's another favorite city. It's absolutely like beautiful. So from the piazzas to the galleries to Michelangelo's David to meandering along the river and over the Ponte Vecchio bridge to devouring, of course we mentioned again gelato, but we can do the pistachio here, which I had, and even shopping. I bought 2 beautiful leather bags in Florence. So it really is an opportunity for your clients not to have to pay a lot of money to do an onboard excursion, but to literally do it on their own. And that's me. So back to Shelley. Thanks.
Thanks so much, Gail and Ems. I think that was really informative. And obviously you must be sitting there thinking, well, what is cooking today? So besides the information we've given you, it's actually our beautiful Jen and Harsh's birthday. So I have quickly whipped up some crunchies. How amazing is this? You just put some flour in, you go like this, and then happy birthday, Jen and Harsh. Delicious. So try that lovely recipe, and hopefully next week we come up with something even more inventive than that. And then I think we're going to see, are there any questions that you'd like answered? And we will go into that now.
So Shelley, we've got a question from Adil regarding kosher meals.
Yes, I did see that.
And pre-packed meals. So we'll hand back to Narosha to answer that.
Okay, so I was busy typing it up. So with kosher cruises, we have pre-packed kosher meals on every single one of our sailings, and then we've also signed up with a few of our Israeli agents that have put together full kosher cruises. So every single thing on the ship is kosher. They have a full kosher kitchen. I can share the itineraries with you. You can still book it through DP. It just goes through our partner in Israel, but it's a full kosher experience where they have a separate kitchen, separate dining area. They have the whole, prayer area, the full kosher experience from start to end. And then as far as halal, as you've requested, Adil, we don't have halal as 100% halal. They sometimes have halal meats, depending on destination. So when we're in Dubai or anywhere in the Middle East, even when we're in Singapore, we do have halal meats on some of our cruises, but it's definitely not 100% halal meals. And then vegan and vegetarian, yeah, that's covered throughout any of our sailings. We have a full vegan and vegetarian program.
Thanks, Narosha.
Sure.
Any other questions? And we'll email, I saw there were some questions coming through for emails.
Yeah.
So another question quickly for Oman. Are you guys assisting with the Oman visas on board?
So for now, definitely not. We have to apply for the visa prior to the cruise. But myself and Emma done it not so long ago. It was a quick process. It literally costed about 50 Rand, to be honest. I put in the details online and got the Oman visa emailed to me within 10 minutes. We are working with the authorities in Oman to get it back on board like we did before, but there were some issues with the Oman authorities, especially when COVID-19 started. So I think they want to take control of that, and they want you to fill in a questionnaire before. The reason why it moved from us back to the immigration officers or the authorities in Oman.
And just a point on that, Oman is absolutely beautiful, so I highly recommend a cruise that covers Oman as well. Gorgeous place.
Definitely.
Cool, thanks, Narosha. Another 2 questions. Question from Corinne de Villiers. Will they be all-inclusive in SA? Maybe you can just quickly chat about the free at sea on those itineraries.
Yeah, currently we're running a promotion called Free for All. So whether you're in an inside, right up until all of the free at sea amenities, from free Wi-Fi, beverage package, speciality dining, shore excursions, and then kids sail free on select sailings. That promotion ends on the 26th of this month. and it's applicable to all. And in our standard free at sea promotion, where if you're in an inside, you get to choose one, ocean view 2 and balcony and above, you get to choose all 5. That's a standard offer. It will, it's all controlled, and it can be removed at any time, but even the SA sailings, I see some people asking about the SA sailings. Yeah, also applicable to the SA sailings.
And then Roland, maybe just going on to the next question, Jane asked for future cruise credits. We can do that on, can we do that on the SA sailings?
Yes.
Yeah.
So FCCs can be used on any future sailing, any sailing right up until December 2022.
Okay. That's excellent news. Thank you.
And then last one, what's the deposit amounts for these sailings?
So deposit amounts vary, but currently the standard deposit is $250 per person. And then obviously depending on the sailing, if it's a longer sailing, the deposit amounts increase. Sometimes we do run promotions as well where we have a reduced deposit offer, and we are looking at something like that coming out soon. So watch the space.
Good. Okay, any other questions?
We've just had one more question, just to repeat the kids sail free part. That's from Rosemary. I think internet broke up there on her side, possibly.
Okay, sure. So we have kids sail free on select sailings. I can send the list of the sailings through to DP to share with everyone. It's not on every single sailing, but there are certain sailings where kids sail free. You pay for guest 1 and guest 2 in the cabin, and then guest 3 and guest 4 travel completely free. Sometimes they have to pay for taxes, but in most cases, it's completely free, just depending on the promotion there.
Okay, is that it? Rolls, are there any other questions that you can see?
Nope, I think that's it.
Okay, Jane just mentioned that we will be holding some allocations on some of our SAA sailings. They will be confirmed in rand, so that's something we'll come out with and let you know. And I think the other point is, please remember that we are contactable. I'll give you my cell number, everyone. It's 0829 phone me for anything, especially the crunchy recipe, of course. But more than that, perhaps a few bookings would be wonderful. Okay, so we look forward to seeing you next week, and we will make it fun and innovative and exciting again. Thank you, everyone, for your time.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.